if you take that, you say, well, then the virus is there, but they didn't get any issues from it. So that's really what we're doing with immune support, is we want to be able to be exposed to all these things and not get any symptoms and not have any problems and not end up in the hospital and not get an infection.
Really should have had music playing. Shoot.
Yeah, I forgot. I should probably say something as I'm flexing. Hello, everyone. Leslie and I just got done with workouts, not together, but at the same time, I think. Well, you have your workout clothes on. I don't know if you worked out yet or not.
I did, actually. I did some weights at home.
Nice. Pro tip, get up in the morning, put your workout clothes on, put your workout shoes on. Much more likely that you'll actually work out if you got the clothes on and you're like, well, I might as well work out. Because if you're sitting in your PJs and slippers, you're probably not feeling too much like working out. So, well, hello, everyone. This is the Fixed Blood Sugar webinar. I'm your host, Joe Barton, well, one of your hosts. And I do have bright, shiny sunshine behind my head again, which is supposed to be fixed soon. I'm getting blinds put in, but they've been delayed. Thank you, COVID supply chain problems. But yeah, welcome. Glad you're here. This is episode number 143, and my ears are plugged slightly. So I got that going for me. I hope you're all doing well. Chime in on the chat. Hello, Velo and Barbie. Good to see you guys, and looking forward to getting to know you guys at the August health retreat with Dr. Saunders. Yeah, you heard me right. August, we're going to Arizona. We got a handful of people signed up or in process of getting signed up, and we're going to have 4 days, 3.5 days together with Dr. Saunders. And if you're interested in that, shoot Leslie an email, leslie@bartonpublishing.com. That's one of the fun things we got going on. Another fun thing we have going on, I joined a men over 50 workout program. I'm not 50 yet, but I'm getting close. I'm going to be 49 this month. But my friend Clark Bartram he helps guys get in shape, and especially guys over 50. And I'm someday hoping to introduce you guys on one of these webinars. Maybe we'll do a separate one or special one. But if you're interested, if you need a little motivation for fitness or getting back to your best you, look up Clark Bartram, Bartram. Look him up on Instagram. He's got a lot. He posts a lot of different stuff. Very motivational. You'll probably recognize him because he's been on like 130 different fitness magazine covers in the past. He's 58 years old. His body is just ripped, like in a good way, in shape, and he's like walking the talk. And he's very encouraging, and he's got a good thing going on. So highly recommend checking out Clark Bartram. There you go, Clark, free promo for you. And so now we're just waiting for Dr. Saunders to get on here. We're going to be talking diabetes type 2. Mostly today, we're going to talk about some of the supplements that Barton Nutrition has available that are cohesive, what's the word I'm looking for? Complementary for people that are trying to overcome different metabolic issues. And there he is, right on cue, Dr. Saunders. And he's lip talking. I can't hear him, but
ain't I something?
Ain't he something else? I tell you what, that is right. So
yeah, my brother told me when you speak, and your voice travels at the speed of sound. But when you do ASL, your language travels at the speed of light.
Wow, that is insightful. That is very true. Yeah, awesome. So like a couple million times faster.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, I just did a little intro welcoming everybody, reminding people about the health retreat that we're doing in a couple months, and also did a little promo for my buddy Clark Bartram, who's a a guy that helps people work out, get back in shape, like all about mindset, meals. What's the third one? Movement, community, and supplementation. And so good stuff. Speaking of supplementation, we're going to continue today with part 2 of the Barton Nutrition supplements. Because a lot of people that watch these webinars don't even know that we have more supplements than just like Synachroma, because we do talk about Synachroma a lot. This is our #1 selling blood sugar support supplement. And you can get all of our supplements are available at bartonnutrition.com. And because you're a webinar participant today, you get to save an extra 25% when you use the coupon code. So you might as well do that. So write down this coupon code, webinar25. Pretty easy to remember. Webinar25 is a coupon code. Put that in when you're checking out, and you'll save an additional 25% off on your entire purchase today from bartonnutrition.com. Dr. Saunders, we'd like to give a little disclaimer. I'm going to just give it quick because it's simple. Dr. Saunders is probably not your own doctor, so he doesn't know what you all got going on, history, medications, all that kind of stuff. So take all of this with a grain of salt. Don't blame us if you do something that ends up making you keel over. Nothing is going to do that, but we just got to say it for those lawyers, ambulance chasers. Anyways. Anything else I need to say about that, Dr. Saunders?
No, that's good. Yeah,
Okay.
just apply the information wisely.
Yes. So we provide really good information. Who was it? Socrates that said, be your own doctor. Probably didn't speak it in English or say it in exactly those words, but or was it physician, heal thyself? Maybe that was Jesus. I don't know. But somebody back in the day said,
Jesus quoted it, but it was before his time.
Okay. So what was that quote about being your own doctor, basically?
Yeah. Well, no, physician heal thyself was about Jesus. They were telling him, physician heal thyself. And
oh, right. Yeah.
That's been a proverb for a long time.
Yeah. But the concept of being your own doctor, right?
You know what? If you're not your own doctor, you're in trouble, because nobody else knows what's going on inside your body. No one else can know. They can give you advice based on, what they know or the little bits that they know. But, that you kind of have to be your own doctor and get to know your body and figure out how things work for you.
Yes. All right. Leslie, anything else before I jump into the supplements?
I don't think so, but I do want to mention that last week we went through a few of these supplements, and that webinar will be available. If you go to bartonwebinar.com, you'll see a link to our YouTube channel. It was really good. We had a lot of really good questions that were asked as well. So be sure to check that out. I think we'll touch on some of those today that we've already covered, but we have some really good things and we've run out of time. So go check that out. Be sure to ask questions here. And again, you can email me, Leslie@bartonpublishing.com, if you want to know more about the retreat, or if you want to share your story with me. I would love to hear from you.
Okay, excellent. So last week we talked about Synachroma, turmeric BP, Nervala, and healthy gut support, also called healthy gut restore. So yeah, those are the 4 that we talked about that are really good. This week we're going to start off with immune support. So here we go. If you can see that immune support, I don't know if the video is on me or not right now. I see a green box around Leslie's, but hopefully everyone can see that. Here it is. Beautiful bottle design. So immune support, Dr. Saunders, why don't you get us started? Inside of immune support, we've got vitamin C, 250 milligrams. We've got vitamin E, zinc, N-acetylcysteine, NAC, elderberry, fruit extract, green tea leaf extract, reishi mushroom, Echinacea purpurea, and quercetin dihydrate. So why did we create this formula?
Okay. Is really interesting is we were discussing this, that there is a need for a good immune support formula before this pandemic showed up. I think we created it just so that we could sell our immune support formula, because it became a big deal, because everybody's like, well, how do I get my immune system working? So here's the deal: is when you get an infection, is it because of a virus or a bacteria or a fungus, yeast? Is that the cause of it? Well, actually, yes and no. Because if we take 100 people and spray, let's say, orthomyxovirus, one of the flu viruses, or coronavirus for that matter, and spray it over them, so everybody's breathing it in, right? And they're all touching each other, and they're all okay. So everybody is like totally exposed to this virus. 60 people will get some kind of illness. 20 people will get serious illness. 1 or 2 of them are going to be like, I got to go to the hospital illness. But 40% of them, 40 out of that 100, they're going to walk away never having a single symptom or anything. No problems, no cough, no fever, not even a little runny nose, nothing. So if you take that, you say, well, then the virus is there, but they didn't get any issues from it. So that's really what we're doing with immune support, is we want to be able to be exposed to all these things and not get any symptoms and not have any problems and not end up in the hospital and not get an infection. Why is your immune system so important? Well, we like to think of it in medicine. It's always thought of as warriors, as this is a battle going on, right? Those little teeny bacteria, they're out to kill us, and we got to fight them off every chance we get, and they've all got their swords and they're beating off all these bacteria and fungus and all. They're trying to get in and just wipe us out. Well, that's not exactly the way the system works. We have more bacterial DNA in our bodies than we have of our own DNA, right? More bacterial DNA than mammalian DNA. And if you count like bacteria on your body, in your body, all over your body, and fungus and yeast and all the viruses, there's a ton more numbers than there are the number of cells in your body. So think about this: your number of cells is between 100 and 500 trillion cells, depending on how big you are. Okay, so we're talking 100 to 500 trillion cells. There is 10 to 100 times that of all the bacteria and everything. So they're not out to get us, they're part of us. And what we want is diversity. So we've created this immune support formula to allow the immune system to perform its function. And what is that? It's just to keep everything in place. I prefer to think of the immune system, instead of warriors fighting against everything out there that's trying to kill us, more as they're janitors. They're cleaning up. They're the organizers. They keep everything organized. Hey, you're not supposed to be here. Get back to your place. There's a mess here because you had an injury, or this bacteria started growing inside of that wasn't supposed to be there, and so the immune system has to come in and clean up the mess. That's really what it's doing, is cleaning up the mess, and so all the tenderness and pain and it gets hot and swollen. That's just to like call over the immune system. Hey, you guys, get over here, clean this up. This is bad. So clean it all up. And if they can't do that, what happens? It gets worse and worse and worse. The mess gets bigger and bigger. It's kind of like our analogy of the sink turned on, right? And it's overflowing with water, and you're mopping it up, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. You got to go to the source. And that's what the immune system does. It has a whole bunch of different ways of doing that. We think like antibodies are the thing. Well, antibodies are not the thing. what really keeps you from getting viral infections is your cellular immunity. So when we formulated this formula, we said, how are we going to get good cellular immunity and have the immune system be able to function properly so that it can make the cells that it needs and that they can work right. They have to be able to be activated. And so there's herbs in there, and some of the herbs are things that activate the immune function to help clean up. And what do they clean up? Well, they clean up dead cells too. They clean up a whole bunch of things, but they allow, so the things that we put a lot of things in there to make sure that the immune system can function. So most of them, if they're vitamins like vitamin C, zinc, those are common deficiencies. So those are just things that are part of, you have to have that or immune system won't function. And the other ones are herbs that that promote the function of the immune system. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, well, very good. So as you're saying that, I'm like, man, I need to take some more immune support. So I open this bottle now. So tell us about
the same thing.
I'll be doing that throughout today's webinar here. So tell us, like, who do you recommend to have this and how often to take it and when? As those are common questions.
They are common questions. So it's one of those things that when I have people who have frequent infections, I put them on it like all the time. Because why? Because they're just getting frequent infections. And they need the support. So a good example would be somebody that has yeast problems. Now, you cannot get yeast problems unless your cellular immunity is not working well. There has to be something wrong with your T cells, because your T cells will keep those fungi, all of the yeast, in their place unless it's not functioning somehow. So anybody that gets a yeast or fungus problem, they've got to have immune support. And so that I give them. Let me give you an example. Little babies, you've probably seen little babies with thrush, right? They get yeast on their tongue and it turns white, and it's a smooth white. And you say, oh, he's got thrush, and you give him an antibiotic to kill the yeast and all that. Well, why does that happen? Why do babies get that? Well, it's because their immune system is not fully functional until they're about 6 months old. After around 6 months, you should not be seeing thrush in a baby. That's not normal. So it happens when the immune system is not complete, which is common in little babies because their immune system is still learning how to function. They still have a thymus gland, and that those T cells are just learning. So that's the beginning. Now, take that to an adult. Why does an adult get a thrush and yeast and all that? Well, it's because their T cells aren't working. And if you've ever heard of AIDS, HIV, AIDS, that's a common problem. They get yeast infections. Why? Because their T cells don't work. That's the problem. That's what that immune deficiency is a T cell problem. So if somebody has something like that, chronic infections or chronic issues, they should take some kind of immune support, like healthy immune support, for just all the time. Other people might take it on every winter so that they don't get like the flu and like every winter I get sick. Well, fine, take it through the winter. That's fine. Or when people are starting to get sick. So if someone says, I think I've been exposed to something, or I'm just starting to get sick, then they can take it. So that's kind of the different ways I look at it.
Awesome. All right. So bartonnutrition.com, use the coupon code webinar25, save 25% off your entire order. And a little bit about all of our supplements. They're manufactured in the USA and just north of Salt Lake City, Utah, in a GMP certified, FDA audited, like all the top quality pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facilities. We've toured there, I think 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I was really impressed with them. I think I've done a lot of research on supplements and stuff, and I've talked to places where they substitute things, and we were in this facility, and they said this cinnamon, and they looked under a microscope, and they wouldn't have been able to tell, except they looked under a microscope and they could see that they had put red gypsum to thin out there, because cinnamon's bark is pretty expensive. And it wasn't pure cinnamon bark. They had to send the entire shipment back, say, nope, that's not it. We want the real thing. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That they
do
you have
that. To be careful, because there's been a lot more fraud. Basically, like suppliers will send, like, they'll take maltodextrin, which is like corn powder, basically, right? And they'll dye it yellow or dye it red to try to pass it off as turmeric or cinnamon or different things like that. So all this is lab tested and certified to be actually what we say is in the bottle on the label is actually in the bottle, which is important. So yeah, found that was very interesting. Okay, next on the list, EasyRelief Magnesium. You can see that this is a fast absorbing topical spray. It is calming, soothing, and relaxing, and it is a 8-ounce bottle, so it's about the size of my head. Hey, but this is a spray that you just put it on your arm and you wipe it in, maybe on your chest or on your back or on your legs, and you wipe it in and your skin absorbs as much as it needs. And this is magnesium. It is 100% pure solution of IMCH, magnesium chloride hexahydrate, and purified water. Dr. Saunders, let's talk magnesium. And why would we do it in this form instead of taking it orally?
Okay, well, there's millions of oral supplements and tons of different kinds, and you'll hear people talk about this magnesium is better than that magnesium, and this is the NeuroMag, that's the one that goes to your brain. Well, it turns out they all go to your brain, but this one happened to be tested, for that. So, the gut can only absorb a certain amount of magnesium. There's a limit to gut absorption for magnesium, and so if you get a little bit too much, it's going to go into your large intestine and create diarrhea. So, how do we know that? Well, for hundreds of years we've been using it as a laxative. If you take too much magnesium, you can't absorb all of it. It goes to your large intestine, and it's a laxative. It gives you diarrhea. So milk of magnesia, what is that? It's magnesium. It's what it is. And mag citrate, in those green bottles for having a BM in the AM. That's the limitation of the absorption of magnesium. So many years ago, there was a place in France called Epsom, France, and it was an amazing place to go for healing. Hold on a second. So people would go there, and they would get into the springs there, and they would be healed of all kinds of things, all kinds of problems, muscle spasms and pain and arthritis and issues and problems with energy and stuff like that. And they would be healed, and it would just be amazing. They would just sit in these baths in Epsom. So they took these the water from the springs, and then they dried it out, and they had these salts called Epsom salts. Guess what it is?
Magnesium.
It's magnesium sulfate salts, and that's what it was. So if you go to the store and buy Epsom salts, I guarantee you it doesn't come from France, but it is magnesium sulfate. And so when you put it in your bathtub, your Epsom salts in the bathtub, and it's just totally relaxing and all that. Why? Well, magnesium is absorbed through your skin a certain amount, and that magnesium relaxes your blood vessels. It actually improves blood flow. so that it then relaxes the muscles because you get better energy flow to the muscles. And then it also works on over 300 different enzymes in your body to make energy, to allow your immune system to function, allow every system in your body to work, requires magnesium. So that's why people were being healed all over the place. They got, this magnesium deficiency, which was common. And so if you don't have enough magnesium, then you need a supplement. And then, so we looked at what are the options out there? Well, you can take an oral supplement, and that's probably sufficient for most things. But we could we could do something different, and that is to give people what they used to call magnesium oil, which is a magnesium salt. It's really not in oil, it's in water. And you spray it on, so you get the equivalent of the Epsom salt bath, so that it gets into your skin, it dilates the blood vessels, allows for absorption, and then goes all over your body. And so, and there's no limitation as far as how much you can use. You can't get too much. You can't get diarrhea from it. You don't have to worry about absorption from the intestines. So that's why we chose to do it this way.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite and most used products. We actually sourced this from a friend of mine in Canada who created it and let us to put it in our own label and all that as well. So this isn't necessarily a Dr. Saunders formula, but it's approved by Dr. Saunders. A lot of people use this at night before bed. You can use it, like spray it after a shower and just spray it all over. You can do like 30 to 50 sprays, at a time. And if you do like 4 or 5 sprays per, body part, arm, leg, trunk, back, legs, you'll get a good amount. Helps you sleep great, helps relax muscles, different things like that. But there's like over 300 different functions of the body that magnesium helps with that. And a lot of it is definitely connected with metabolism and insulin and all that kind of stuff. So great product there. Let's move on to iodine. Now this one is in my favorite colors of purple and gold. Go Vikings. But it's actually, I feel this is one of our most important products, especially for women in the Midwest or any women that don't eat a lot of seafood from the ocean, because it's iodine is just not as available anymore as it used to be. A lot of times it was added to salt, so that you could get iodine, but a lot of people don't eat salt that's iodized anymore. You eat more Himalayan salt or different things like that. So also this one is near and dear to my heart because my mother passed away from breast cancer a little over 7 years ago. And there's a connection with iodine and breast cancer prevention. I don't know the exact link or study on that, but I wish I could go back 20 years and have her taking this. I mean, who knows? It might not have helped, but it wouldn't have hurt, certainly. So this is called NeuroMetabolic Iodine, which is brain and metabolism. It supports cognitive, metabolic, and thyroid function. Dr. Saunders, let's talk iodine.
Iodine is an interesting nutrient because it's been known for 100 years that people in the United States are deficient in iodine. And it was such a common problem that people would get goiter. Their thyroid gland would get bigger and bigger and bigger because of the lack of iodine. The thyroid gland is saying, hey, we need to make more thyroid. We don't have enough thyroid. But if there's not enough iodine, then the gland just enlarges to make more, but there's not enough iodine to actually make more. So it's called a goiter. A study done about 10 years ago in girls, high school girls in the Midwest, found that about 12% of them in high school already had goiter. That's like, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 12%, 1 out of less than 1 out of 10. were deficient in iodine. So iodine deficiency is very common, and it's always been that way. It's been known that for many years. So someone thought many years ago that it was a good idea. 100 years ago, they said, okay, let's put iodine in salt, because everybody uses salt, right? And then you're going to have iodine. And then a decade or two later, 2 decades later, they said, oh, you shouldn't be using salt. Don't use salt. So nobody uses salt. And then another couple of decades later, people start getting into these kosher salt and sea salt and Himalayan salt and all these boutique salts. But guess what? None of them, even sea salt. I've heard this a lot from people. Oh, I'm eating sea salt that has iodine. No. Sea vegetables have iodine because they concentrate, they pull iodine out and they concentrate it in them. The seawater actually has very little iodine, and sea salt has practically none, and really not enough for anyone. So if your salt doesn't say iodized salt on it, then it's not. So the canned foods, no iodine in the salt. Your French fries do not have iodine on them. There's nothing unless it says specifically on the label. And even then, it's a really tiny amount. And so if you're just sprinkling a small amount on your meals, it's not going to be very much. It may prevent a goiter, but here's the thing about iodine. What Joe was talking about, like women need more iodine than men because the enzyme that converts their estrogen requires iodine. So everybody has a thyroid gland, and we all need iodine for the thyroid gland, but women need more because they also have the breast glands that convert the estrogen, and they need that iodine. And if they don't have it, they can get inflammation and breast cancer. So there is a distinct relationship between iodine and breast inflammation, or fibrocystic breast disease, if you've ever heard of that, fibrocystic change. All of that is related to a lack of iodine. So iodine is really important for men and also for women. And you can't get enough from food unless you're eating seaweed salads and kelp and stuff like that. And so if you're doing that, that's fine. I buy those seaweed chips, those the ones from Costco. And one of those packets of seaweed chips, and you got the little crisp seaweed. One of those, the whole packet is about 5 milligrams of iodine. So that's a decent amount. And so if you ate one of those every week, you would get plenty of iodine. So what about this metabolic iodine, NeuroMetabolic Iodine? Why is that important? Well, it is a source of iodine that is easily used by the body. It's not in a large amount. You cannot get toxic on this iodine. If you accidentally put 2 squirts in, it's not going to be a problem. If you don't have the little dropper and you're pouring it in, it's still okay. And it's enough, but it's not going to be too much. You can't overdose on it.
Yeah. Little known fact. So our supplier ran out of the 2-ounce bottles, so we had to go to 4-ounce bottles, but you basically get double the amount now for the same price. So that's a deal. And Leslie was showing the little pipette there that comes with it. I don't even use that thing. I just kind of, like you said, just pour it in a little bit in your water. It's easier. Yeah,
it's easier.
You can use a dropper if you want, but
and it's not going to change the flavor of anything, and it works well, and you get plenty of it.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's freshening my water when I, like just tastes clean. But my wife also noticed, like, she took it at night one time and she couldn't sleep. Like, it just kept her brain was all awake. And so she'll take it in the morning instead now. And it just like is an energy boost and stuff like that. So we do have a question about iodine. We'll get to that real quick. Would you take iodine if a person had Graves' disease and RAI procedure performed over 20 years ago? It's not going to help the thyroid that's been killed. Is that true?
That's true. So it's not for the thyroid, but the way iodine works is really cool. If you take a dose of iodine, let's just say you take 10 milligrams of iodine. If you have enough iodine in your body, and you take 10 milligrams, then what will happen is over the next 24 hours, you will pee out almost exactly 10 milligrams. It would be like 9.98 milligrams. It would be, it's really close. So, in fact, they used to test people if they're sufficient in iodine by doing that test. The need for iodine is more than just the thyroid. So if you don't have a thyroid, then you still should have iodine, especially if you're female, but even males need iodine. So yeah, it's not just the thyroid gland, although that's obviously the most important one.
All right, we had a question about the 25% discount, which you can just use webinar 25 as a promo code, which will, and when you check out and add it in there, it'll update the total. The question was, is that good for the first order only, or is it also come in on reorders? So like you can order like a 1 bottle per month subscription. And if you use the coupon code, I'm 99% sure that that carries over to each month. So you save that amount. Close to 100% sure on that. So yes, it does. 25% will be, you'll get that discount on all the reorders. If you place a new order, you'd have to just enter that webinar 25 coupon again. And that is at bartonnutrition.com. So, okay, we had a question back about the immune support real quick before we move to our next one. So is immune support good for autoimmune issues? Something I'm trying to concur.
Okay, so autoimmune issues, yes, immune support is important. You have to have a sufficient amount of like the zinc that's in there, vitamin C, and you need to have enough vitamin D. So immune support is not specifically for autoimmune issues. If you have autoimmune issues, you often have deficiency or low vitamin D levels, and you should add vitamin D. And so we didn't put that in the immune support because the Synachroma already has a sufficient amount for a full day. So if you have, if you're dealing with blood sugar issues, then get the vitamin D from Synachroma, and that's the more important thing for autoimmune.
All right. Okay, we got 3 more to go, so let's keep going here. We've got LeanACV. This is an apple cider vinegar formula. It helps to alkalize your body. It's helpful with metabolic support, weight management, and other things. Let's talk about this one. It's got apple cider vinegar, apple pectin, and licorice root extract.
Okay, so this this is a supplement that's primarily for the digestive system, and it has apple pectin so that you can grow good bacteria in your intestines, and it has apple cider vinegar. The vinegar helps for a lot of different things to metabolize in the body to make the body more alkaline, and the way that works is the acid, it's an acetic acid, when it's processed in the body, you breathe out the carbon dioxide, and in the kidneys, it makes it more alkaline. So how does it help you be more lean? When your stomach is working well, when you feel good, when you feel satiated, then you don't need to eat as much. People who have this chronic sort of inflammation in their stomachs often eat more. And things that calm the stomach and help the stomach, like the licorice root, is something that helps the stomach to function better. And so it's really all about feeling better. If your digestive system is working better, the gut's working better, then you don't have need to put things in there, to put food in there.
I found it was interesting. We've been using Bragg's apple cider vinegar since I can remember, and you're friends with Patricia Bragg, right? She's close by to you.
Yeah, she lives in Santa Barbara. Yeah, I know her.
So you probably learned quite a bit from her about apple cider vinegar.
Well, I don't know. I talk to her periodically, but I don't think we talk about apple cider.
Oh. Well, fun little fact. So yeah, so this is a good formula. All right, next one here, NiagraXL. So this is the product. This is male testosterone performance formula, natural energy, strength, and libido support. So when our health coaches were talking to customers, they were realizing that a lot of men were having ED problems, and they connected the dots, and it was because of metformin typically was the main cause of that, one of the side effects from that. And so just hearing, men say that over and over, like, that's obviously a big problem. And so we created this formula, NiagraXL. This has zinc sulfate, fenugreek seed, maca root extract, pine bark extract, mucuna pruriens seed extract, Solomon seal, which is very expensive, by the way, Korean ginseng, horny goatweed, cordyceps, L-arginine, HCl, L-citrulline, and saffron, which saffron is also very expensive. I think saffron pound for pound is like the most expensive thing in the universe or something like that. I don't know if that's 100% true, but it's something like that. It's really expensive, so you don't need a lot of it to make a difference. But let's talk about NiagraXL, Dr. Saunders.
Okay, so like you said, the NiagraXL just came out of a need. A lot of people calling and saying, what can I do about this ED issue? And so we looked into the research, and the research showed that there was some pretty good, mostly herbs out there that could be helpful for that kind of thing. So what I want to say about this is it can be helpful for some people. For example, if you're low in zinc, zinc is required to make testosterone. If you're low in zinc, you're not going to make enough testosterone. So we add zinc in just to make sure you're getting enough. We also have zinc for the immune system. So you can see zinc is important for a lot of different things. This is one of those, if this is what you need, it works well. So it's not one of those like, this is expected, like everybody with ED is going to be fixed. It's really like, sometimes this is something that will really make a difference. And so it's one of those things that you try, you say, is this working for me? No, it's not working for me. Okay, fine. Then don't use it, because that's not your issue. Because a lot of people with, if they have blood sugar issues, they have a different reason for the ED. The nervous system is not functioning well. They could have neuropathy. And then you may find that you want to take the Nervala so that you get better nerve function, so things start working right. So there may be different reasons. And if you think that this is going to fix your problem without getting your blood sugar under control, think again, that's not going to work either. So you still need to get good blood sugar control. You still need to get the nervous system functioning properly. And then if this is something that works well for you, that's why we created it.
Yeah, that's super important to, we touched on that last week as well, but really stacking the different things that we do, different remedies, different, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but like eating lower carbs, like doing that and getting your blood sugar and your insulin levels down, and then doing the 6-10 fasting, the 6-10 reset, where you're not eating after 6 o'clock at night. You're going to bed at 10 o'clock on an empty stomach. You're letting your body enter that repair state. Doing all of those things and supplementing with that is going to help you get to that point where your body starts to recover and to repair itself and to to operate and function how it was intended to and how it used to before all these other issues happened. So, and again, Dr. Saunders has never been a huge like supplement pill pusher by any means. Like if anything, do these other things first that are cheaper. Like it doesn't cost anything to stop eating, right? You'll save money. It doesn't cost you anything to go to bed on an empty stomach at 10 o'clock. It might cost you something to eat healthier foods, but what's it worth to your, to your body to eat foods that are high in the nutrients that you need instead of eating just junk food and, high carbs that are just fillers basically, and inflames your body, that inflammation. So yeah, that's important to remember with all of these supplements. We're not trying to, just be pushing these all, down your throat. It's something like these help support. These are supportive supplements. They supplement your lifestyle of eating healthy, exercising, sleeping well, going intermittent fasting, lowering stress, all these different things we've talked about. And a little plug. So this is episode 143 of the Fixed Blood Sugar webinar. If you go to bartonwebinar.com or search YouTube for Barton Webinar, you'll find we've posted all these, previous webinars in the past with Dr. Saunders answering myriads of questions, all sorts of different things that we've covered. Today, we're not going to have a whole lot of time to get to questions because we've covered the rest of our supplements here. Next week, we'll get back to the type 2 basics, which we've done. But go back and watch those archived webinars and just continue to educate yourself, learn. Like the more you learn and the more you soak in that good information and good truth and hearing from the good doctor, Dr. Saunders here, and realizing hey, your body can use natural remedies, natural things to get healthy, to feel healthy, to look healthy. And it's great. We love hearing your testimonials. And if you've got a testimonial to share, just type it in the chat to everybody and share it with everyone. We love to hear those stories. We love to hear hey, my blood sugar was 385 and now it's down to 115. And it's awesome. That's great to hear. It's encouraging for us to hear. It's encouraging for the people watching this to hear, because it shows hey, this stuff actually works. So we've had hundreds of testimonials come in from this webinar as well. And so we're going to get into our final supplement here. And this is FiberGreens. It is currently out of stock. So I don't even think it's available on Barton Nutrition, but we're going to talk about it right now because, hey, you might be watching the replay of this and it should be in stock at the end of June 2022. This is our low carb blood sugar and digestive support formula with the green apple flavoring. Tastes really good. I'm going to have some right now, actually, as Dr. Saunders is talking. I'm going to mix it in, but this is a higher fiber. It's kind of like if you think of Metamucil, it's got 4 or 5 grams of fiber in it, but it's also full of sugar. So we did a low carb version of that. And then we also added in the greens. So we've got superfoods, 30 delicious superfoods. That is, let me get my glasses on so I can read the fine print here. I'm going to rattle off a few of these. So we've got, so it's got some probiotics in it, which is really the fiber. It's got a few different types of fiber, the psyllium husk, seed husk, organic inulin from Jerusalem artichoke root, and acacia gum. Now in the superfood greens blend, we've got pomegranate seeds, spirulina, green tea, ginger root extract, broccoli, carrot, tomato, beet, spinach, cucumber, Brussels sprout, cabbage, celery, kale, asparagus, green bell peppers, cauliflower, parsley, purple sweet potato, black raspberry, beetroot, black currant fruit, blueberry fruit, and blue honeysuckle fruit. And then it also has a little bit of barley green, which that was something personal to me. It's just a little bit, but barley is actually part of my name, part of the Barton name, barley farmer or barley harvester or something like that. So I'm all right, we need some of that in there. So let's talk FiberGreens, Dr. Saunders. this is a drink mix. You can put the scoop in, mix it up, drink it down. Quick couple tips when you do that. I like to use ice cubes, shake it up good. It's a good mix. It gets any clumps out. Mine never clumps. I've heard a few people say it clumps, but maybe the scoop gets packed. You got to like shake that out. The second thing is you want to drink it within like 10 to 15 minutes. Use the Barton Nutrition shaker bottle that you'll get when you buy it on bartonnutrition.com as soon as it's available again. Shake it up and drink it within 10 to 15 minutes so it doesn't get clumpy. All right, Dr. Saunders.
I found that it gets clumpy. I just use a spoon and stir it and it gets clumpy. So
yeah,
I found that. But if I use the little spinner, then it works fine. Yeah. Anyway, so fiber. Why is fiber important? Well, it turns out that fiber is probably the most important nutrient we have. We think of that we have to have fats and carbohydrates and proteins. And are you getting enough protein every day? But nobody asks you, are you getting enough fiber every day? Unless you're constipated, then your doctor says, oh, you better take some fiber. But other than that, it's not something that's part of our education system, for example, or any of our system. Is really people should be eating more than 40 grams of fiber a day. And 40 grams is a lot. It's like, a dinner plate full of salad is like 4 grams of fiber. And so, it's 10 dinner plates of salad or 10 apples, or every cup of beans is about 10 grams of fiber. So if you have 4 cups of beans a day, so you can see that, you can imagine it's quite a bit of food. And so you said, well, you might say, well, I'm going to get fat on that if I eat that much fiber. No, you're not. And so getting fiber in your food in a broad spectrum, so that you're eating things like jicama and artichokes and then greens of all kinds, and then apples and oranges and pears. Pears are great for fiber, and beans are great for fiber. So why did we make this? Well, because fiber is an issue. It's hard to eat that much food when you're trying to be on a low carb, low calorie diet, and you're trying to detox from everything, right? Because I keep saying, quit eating, quit putting stuff in your mouth, and then you're not getting enough fiber, and people are getting constipated. So we made this FiberGreens, and so it has nutrition in it, and it does have some sweetener in it. I told them make it without sweetener, and they go, we can't. If it doesn't taste good, it's not going to work. So we can't do it, because they have like our lab. They have an official taster, and they actually pay a guy to taste things and go, nope, that doesn't taste good. He's trying.
That could be a really good job or a really bad job at times, I would imagine.
I know, right? It could be horrible. Okay, you're going to do the cod liver oil taster.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so they said, so they had to make it. So we added some stevia in there, and I know I've told you guys, stay off the stevia. And generally that's true. If you have it once a day or something like that, it's not going to be a big issue. But if you have to have sweet with every meal, that's where it becomes a significant problem. So anyway, the point is the fiber is really important, and getting enough fiber in your diet is hard to do. So that's why this one was created.
Yeah, we had a couple good tips here. So Velo said FiberGreens is awesome, tastes great. We mix it with a little ice and use a handheld mixer, and works great. And then Dave and Cindy said FiberGreens will not clump if you first put the water in the glass first, which is a great tip. That's what I do as well. So put in the ice, put in the water, and then put in the FiberGreens, and then shake it up or stir it or whatever, and it won't clump. So good stuff. I'm drinking it right here. Look at this. It's down the hatch. It tastes great. It's like a green Jolly Rancher. I mean, It's good stuff. Not that anyone would ever eat a Jolly Rancher anymore, but you know, okay, maybe every once in a while. All right, Leslie, you've been quiet today. And it's probably because I've been dominating pretty much all of this interaction.
That's great. Good. I did have some thoughts though. Here a few quick thoughts. Joe, when do you suppose you guys created your first supplement?
It was approximately 6 years ago. Synachroma was created. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was just thinking, you know, when I first started with the Barton team, probably like 2012, there were no supplements.
Right.
But I remember we would get some supplements from other companies. And I specifically remember magnesium, and everyone was freaking out because they all wanted magnesium. And then Dr. Saunders would say, hey guys, you know, I really recommend vitamin D, selenium, chromium, all these things. So we would buy bottles of each supplement and take I personally took so many supplements, and then we got wise and we combined them. And so it's been kind of a fun journey just to see it from back then until now. But I do really appreciate this. Came up a couple times on this webinar and before. Dr. Saunders really wants you to make positive changes through your diet, and those recommendations are inside the diabetes solution kit. And so I know some of you are asking. I saw someone said, hey, I think I'm pre-diabetic, can I start taking some supplements? And honestly, we're talking about supplements today, but I believe Dr. Saunders would say start with the diabetes solution kit. And so Joe, if you want to hold that up again, I should change this to gallery. Let's see. That's where you want to go. You want to start there. BartonWebinar.com will take you there, or Barton Nutrition. There's lots of ways to get there, but that's where many of the people on this webinar have started, and that's why they're having so much success. So you can see some of these people talking, some of these people, I mean, Vilo and Dave and Cindy, I mean, there's a lot of people here doing some amazing or have some amazing stories just by following the stuff in the diabetes solution kit, which didn't even include the supplements. So start there, and then you can look at supplements, if that's okay to say. Is that okay to say, Dr. Saunders?
Yes, that would be what I would say.
Okay.
Is yes, change your the way you eat and everything first, and supplements are just that, supplemental.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the Diabetes Solution Kit is on its 10th edition. So we've been publishing this for, I don't know, 13 years, something like that. And it just continues to get better and better. I just turned to the Joseph's Technicolor Dream Eggs recipe that I put in there. These are like my eggs with a bunch of vegetables and cheese, and it's good stuff. You might want to try that. That's on page 80. So if you need this, if you don't have the workbook printed copy, I highly recommend this because you can just lay it flat on your counter, cook with it, bring it to the store, take notes in it, carry it around, give some to your grandkids. You know, they might need it someday. I don't know, buy extra copies for your friends and family. You can go to bartonwebinar.com. We've got this linked on that page. You can also use the coupon code webinar25 to save 25% there as well. So, all right, Dr. Saunders, we got a few minutes left here. Leslie, were there any other questions? I know there were a bunch that came in, but we certainly won't be able to get to most of them today.
Real quick, bartonwebinar.com, you'll find our list of top 10 questions or top however many we're at. So there's another resource. In case we don't get to your question, it's probably there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's so many, I don't know where. If you saw one that came through, feel free to ask.
Well, Vilo just said, just to say that the solution kit is really simple to follow, just stay consistent. That is a good life principle for a lot of things. So Jane said, I find the FiberGreens really effective and very helpful. Mind you, I have to force it down because of the sickly sweet taste. I guess it's not for everyone. They don't think it tastes as good as I think it does, but however, that's not so important as to stop me from taking it. So good stuff. We share even the, not 100% positive feedback here, don't we?
Once you've tried psyllium husks on its own, you'll love this.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's actually the reason why it's not in stock again, because psyllium husk is really hard to get right now. And so we've been sourcing. Also, I think we had some come in and they tested it and it had too much lead in it or something. So like, I go back to the drawing board. So all these delays but like that just shows like we have high standards. We're not going to put out products that have less than, the gold standard for what you guys need. So, all right, Dr. Saunders, you got 1 minute. Close us out with some wisdom here from Santa Barbara.
Okay. So one of the things about supplements is that what Leslie was talking about, they are not the answer to your problems. However, since people are commonly deficient in these nutrients, even when we're eating regularly, like iodine, you can't get iodine from food unless you're eating like kelp or seaweed or something like that. And you need it regularly because you don't store it. You use it. The thyroid gland uses it. The breast glands use it, and it's gone. So we need regular amounts of zinc and vitamin D, of course, vitamin C, and all those things. However, that's not like you're going to take the supplement and it's going to fix your problem. It's going to help your body to function normally so that you can go off and fix your problem. So that's the idea, is the solution kit, the book, is really the key. And the supplements are useful for helping you. So in your diet, you're going to eat a wide variety of vegetables so that you have a good amount of fiber in your diet. And then you can supplement with the FiberGreens. But if all of your fiber comes from FiberGreens, it's not enough. You still have to do it with your food. So just remember that it's mostly with your food. Do everything you can with your food. And that's what Hippocrates said, what we started out with. Let medicine be your food and let food be your medicine.
That was it. All right. Hey, if you're on the Zoom, hit that raise hand button. Let's see how many hands we can get raised. It's like a high five, a clap for Dr. Saunders. Let's go. We got 17, 18. Hit that hand. Let's go. 30, 33. We're giving high fives. You're giving yourself high fives like, woo, come on, Dr. Saunders. That's right. 40 high fives, Dr. Saunders. Thank you so much. That is good stuff. We'll see you next time. Dr. Saunders, have a great rest of your day.
See you.
Okay, well, that was fun. Never done that before.
Fun. Oh, Dr. Saunders is just so popular.
Yeah.
It is fun though, guys. We get together for a retreat soon with our team, and he'll be there. I'm assuming his wife, maybe some kids. I'm not sure who's coming, but it's so fun because you always will find him kind of off having private medical conversations with all of our team. Everyone loves to ask him stuff. It's so good. It's just awesome.
Yeah, for sure. He's the best. He really is. I love him and super thankful for him. And I mean, you guys see it every week. He shows up, he answers all these questions, he teaches, he's educating, he's walking the walk, and he's helped me a ton. He's been my doctor, my family's doctor for, I don't know, 14 years. I hardly ever have to go visit a doctor because if I ever have anything come up, I'll just text him or call him and he gets right back to me and all that. So he's awesome. So, and you guys are awesome too. So thanks for joining us here. I hope you enjoyed that. One last shout out to bartonnutrition.com. That is the site you can go to. Any of the supplements that we've talked about, you can order them there. We have discounts. If you order like 3 or 6 bottles, you can save more. And then you can also add that coupon code to save an additional 25% to your order. Just use webinar 25 and I'm going to finish my FiberGreens now here in this handy dandy Barton Nutrition shaker bottle that you can get as soon as FiberGreens is back in stock. I think you get one of these free when you order 3 or 6 bottles or something like that. So, okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for the round of applause for Dr. Saunders. Give yourself a high five. Leslie, you're amazing. As always, have a great day, everyone. Take care and God bless.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Joe.